Welcome back to another episode of Tigs Bits. And look, I think you can tell by the shirt that I have on, I'm pretty fired up for the LSU Lady Tigers winning their first ever national championship. Wow, what a freaking run those ladies had throughout not just the NCAA tournament, but the whole season. Remarkable, just absolutely remarkable. Fun to watch, just the entertainment. We all know what happened in that championship game. It's part of sports. Everybody knows that's just part of sports. You talk the trash, it comes back at you. It was out today that Caitlin Clark responded back. She didn't have a problem with that. So that story's so freaking over with. Kudos to the Lady Tigers for winning the first natty. And it reminded me back in October, I had Tommy Krysan on the show. Listen to what Tommy has to say right here. It's pretty freaking good.
I'm going to say something on your show that I hadn't said anywhere else. Brian Kelly, Jay Johnson, and Kim Mulkey will all win national championships at LSU.
I mean, look, I cannot disagree with this. Not even in the slightest. And now it's the boys' turn. It's the baseball boys' turn. Go to Omaha, baby. Let's win the 51st championship in LSU's history. As an interesting little side note, this was the 50th national championship that has been won at LSU. Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Well, look, let's jump on into the show. This week, Chad Blasi, JR the Handler, and myself talk really about the Muscle Shoals sound. We hadn't really dove into Lynyrd Skynyrd and Gary Rossington since his passing. We had recorded a show just a handful of days before he passed. And so we hadn't really had a chance to talk about that until we recorded this one. It's a good one. If you've never been to Muscle Shoals or you don't know that sound and all of the story that's there, we kind of give you, JR really gives you a good inside kind of starting point for that, because you can spend hours going down that rabbit hole. But if you love music, you love that Muscle Shoals sound, this is a good one. If you haven't done it yet, check out all of our social media pages. You can find all of that information on tigsbits.com. Like them, follow them, subscribe to them, share them with your friends, leave comments, interact with it. We really appreciate it and having a lot of fun doing it. So let's keep rolling.
Got a second win, though, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah.
They said, Waylon Jennings said, boys, this is the big time, and we are professionals. This is not a dress rehearsal.
I mean, that's exactly how you're supposed to do it, JR. I really wouldn't expect anything less, to be honest with you. You just have to, you just got to put your boots on and get after it.
Yes, sir, you do.
Thanks for coming back.
Never let them see you sweat. That's always the thing. That's the thing is to, if everybody else thinks you're doing a good job and it looks easy, that means you're doing a good job, but you know right. It ain't.
Yep.
Look at his hat.
Yeah, what's up with that hat? Oh, I see it.
That's
Yeah.
Jamie Johnson, Randy Hauser.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
That was one of the only tours I got to go to pandemic. That might have been the first one back out in 2021. That was like January or February. They played the theater here in Mobile, Sanger.
Okay.
And just acoustic, just them two. No sidemen, no nothing. Just them two guitars, 2 hours.
Holy cow.
That's awesome.
Man.
Good times. I went with Coot. I got him a hat, or Daniel Brown. What a Blasi and I, fraternity brothers. I still got his hat and his shirt. We both got the same one, so we could go, I guess, match the next time we went somewhere. But we loved it so much, we went and got all the merch,
Heck yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, that's all right.
Hey, and this is
a good looking hat.
But this is the one for this week because...
Oh, yeah. Muscle Shoals, baby.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Get some of that mud.
Yes,
because,
sir.
As we record this, we just lost Gary Rossington from Lynyrd Skynyrd.
That's right.
Yep. So that's a big, not that all of them aren't, but like there's not many of those our age and older rock gods that we grew up all watching, and that everybody knew their name. I mean, I think about that. How many times you think Lynyrd Skynyrd's been name dropped in a song?
can't even count it, man.
No,
Skynyrd
of all styles of songs, and then it's probably as many as Hank. There's probably a handful of artists like that get referenced in songs, and
So they're known throughout. Lynyrd Skynyrd, I mean, of course, just they're ingrained in you if you live in the South, that obviously, but everybody has heard of them. Everybody, pretty much around the whole world, and have for a long time. It's amazing. Of course, Drive-By Truckers we've talked about, and that studio there, and where that whole sound comes from, and so their concept albums, And how, so the influence that Lynyrd Skynyrd had on the truckers is incredible. You can hear it; it's obvious.
Right.
Yeah. I've never been in there. I've never been in that studio though. I've heard it's cool. I'm sure you've been in there.
Oh wow, yeah. Man, I'll tell that story real quick. It'll be a good one while we're talking about Muscle Shoals. But Skynyrd, I'd love to talk a bunch about them. So we'll just hit back on that. But yeah, Muscle Shoals. Yeah. When I was running with Wayne Mills, he knew everybody. So somehow we got in touch with Jimmy Johnson, one of the Swampers, who is legendary producer, guitar player, on all those records, but was one of the main couple guys. Jimmy Johnson. Mm-hmm. So we end up buddying up with them and going into Muscle Shoals and going to the different studios and them trying to court Wayne to do a record. They didn't tell us the price to the end, so I'll go ahead. Spoiler alert: it was way more than we were ever going to have to pay for this record back in 2004, maybe 5. I mean, $250,000 to cut a record or something. They were going to cut us a deal for that. We're like, dude, we ain't got $5,000. You know what I mean? For that, it was, so anyway, spoiler alert, that didn't happen. But it was awesome going through the process because this was kind of the end of that. You still had to go to a studio, and there, it wasn't kind of like it is now, as many and stuff. But yeah, so we got to go to all the studios and, him show us around to each one because there's like 3 or 4 in town in Muscle Shoals, Sheffield area right there. Yep. There's this one, the Jackson Highway. There's Fame, which is downtown on the river. And then there's the old Navy base they converted into a studio that was there for a long time. I think last time I was there, Stax Records owns it now, but it was down. It was an old naval training facility on the river there on the other side, though. Okay. So we got to go to each one of those, and all of them the same. When you went in, it had not changed since the last time someone was there recording. Like it was still, like I remember being at the one that was the naval training facility and leaning up on like a little podium thing where everybody was talking, and I look up and there's a picture of like Ron Wood and Rod Stewart leaning on that same podium together. And it's the same. It's the same color. It hadn't been refinished. It's the same thing, and everything. And also at the Fame Studios was the same way. Everything's exactly the same. Then again, at this one the same. And we actually knew a guy who lived in the apartment that was underneath this studio. So we would go play when we played Muscle Shoals. Afterwards, we'd go over there and hang out in the studio. That really happened. Man. And there was still you could still smoke cigarettes in there back then. Of course, we were partying, having drinks.
That's
and stuff.
Crazy.
It was total, but this was pre those documentaries and the fandom for the space. Like they didn't have tours coming through then. It was like you were in the know on music to go by there. It wasn't like everybody knew about it at that point. And eventually, when all the media got to where everybody knows about everything now, they have tours, and it's a lot, because at the time I think they were trying to. They were saying, you get an engineer and a session there or a day at the studio for like $500 because they didn't have a full calendar all the time, And I'm not they weren't working and busy and stuff, but it just wasn't like the resurgence it's become since then, since everything's kind of went the way it did. But all 3 beautiful, well kept, well maintained time capsules of music history, because every type of music went through here. I mean, but very cool. And like I said, now there's enough documentaries where everybody can find out about it. It's, Muscle Shoals is the northwest corner of Alabama.
I mean, that's a beautiful area up there too. I used to spend a lot of time there for work, and there's a Marriott there that's a really cool Marriott. It's got that restaurant that rotates up top, and I'd go stay there for work. And because I stay at a lot of Marriotts, and my rate, whatever, is $100. But I'd go in and always ask as a titanium level member, like, hey, can I get an upgrade? And I'd usually get an upgrade, but one time I got the either the governor's suite or the presidential suite. It was the best one they had, and inside that they had this jukebox, had a pool table. I mean, it was ridiculous. I was by myself, so it was I didn't get to really party, but they had a jukebox with all of these songs that had been recorded at Fame Studios. And dude, I went and got some beer, and I just sat in there and I just rocked that. I rocked that jukebox out that night, man.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Gold.
That's a great area, though, man.
Absolute gold.
I love it up there. And what's that JW Handy Festival that they do? Yep. And it's in July, I think.
The Godfather of the Blues, of jazz. That's that we used to play that, Wayne. We've played Handy Fest a few times. Handy Fest's still a big deal, up in that area. They shut the streets down, schools out for a week. It's a big deal. It was always really cool. But, yeah, a lot of history in there. There was so many books. Like I said, it'd be hard for me to even explain to somebody who didn't know about that now, because there's so many documentaries out and so much information on all the different stuff that's happened there. If you watch any rock docs on Netflix very long, you're going to run across Muscle Shoals references and who and what, and then you'll see everybody. But yeah, it's and then obviously going back to why we brought it up about the Skynyrd reference, they've got Muscle Shoals has got the Swampers, Yeah. So that reference alone, and then
who are
the
who are the Swampers?
The Swampers were Jimmy Johnson, David Hood, Patterson Hood's dad. Gosh, who were all the guys in that? I can't even think of them all of them right now. It was an era of 6 or 7 studio guys from Muscle Shoals that all
got you.
laid it down on all those records. And then they would bring in people from Memphis and some other areas, and people would just find there. That's how Dwayne Allman just found his way there, because that's where the hub was, of that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so it's got a lot, but that song and Lynyrd Skynyrd referencing it, definitely helps everyone punctuate to remind them to remember, because like you said, I mean, there's not been many bands as big as Skynyrd. When they first went out on tour, they were opening for the Rolling Stones, and they had just gotten to where they were about on the level, and they were outrunning Rolling Stones on the road. So the Stones had a huge tongue, and you can watch this on YouTube. They had a huge tongue, and and they were told, don't go on the tongue. Don't stand back here and play. A lot of times, if you're a support act, sometimes big artists will tell you can't use the thrust, or you can't stand on some different stuff. They'll give you a little bit of limitations on what part of the stage you can use.
Sure.
So the Stones had told them they couldn't go down the tongue, because they had a tongue going down the front of the stage. Well, of course, they get to kill it, and they have just destroyed this audience, and Ronnie's pushing them as they're doing twin leads. Ronnie pushes them down the stairs. You can see it. He's like, go. He's barefooted, and they go down and just slay it, and that was it. After that day, it was over. That was it. They were as big as anybody there ever was.
That's crazy.
It took balls to do that, too, I mean.
Just crazy Florida rednecks that could jam,
Shoeless. Isn't he always hitting Ronnie Van Zant? Wasn't he pretty much always shoeless? I mean,
Yes.
I've seen that. I've seen that same video. I mean, I've gone.
If you go back, watch him push them along.
Yeah,
it's not them making it. It's
great.
him. Go ahead, go.
That's right. Exactly.
In Jacksonville Beach, where is it that they used to play? It's kind of famed at Jacksonville Beach. Do you know that, JR?
I don't know it off the top of my head.
They got their start, like that's their whole storied thing. When you go there, this is where Lynyrd Skynyrd started playing, and they were the house band here for years. So I was over there staying one time, and they had a little concert there, and I was like, man, I got to go just because of the fact Skynyrd, this is where they started. And that was Slipknot, so it was a little bit different vibe than a Skynyrd show.
Oh my God,
that was something special, man. That was different.
I bet. Hey, I mean, I know that I know JR is not really into the heavier jams, but your boy Tigs over here, I will definitely jam some
all about
Slipknot.
It.
But I could not. Yeah, what a surprise!
Wow.
Yes,
I wasn't thinking you were going there.
I guess I'm in. Let's go.
Were you by yourself, Blake?
Yes, I was. I was over there for work. It was a random night.
Lord Warrior.
There's Slipknot. Let's do it.
Hey, I'm going.
Corey
Yeah,
Taylor.
I went to Robert Earl Keen. Blasi goes to Slipknot. Hell, I was mad last night. We went to the steakhouse here in Orange Beach.
Big Mike's.
Big Mike's. Yeah, really good. Got a great steak. First time I've ever been because every time I drive by, the parking lot's packed. And I refused.
Yep.
Every time. Well, I know now why, because it's a small dining room you go in. It's not that big a place. But I refuse to wait in line very long. I just ain't gonna happen. Somebody would invite me over there to a private thing or something before I wait that damn long. So Grice and his wife, it was her birthday. The family went up there early and they bird dogged for us for half an hour till we got there, and we got a spot pretty quick. But anyway, it was really good. I got the special, the Big Mike, the 24-ounce ribeye,
bone and ribeye,
baked potato salad. We had a couple of apps. Yeah, it was nice. It was good, great flavor, tender. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, they do a good job. I'm sliding through Andalusia sometimes. On a Friday evening, I'll ease downtown to Big Mike's and grab me a steak. It's always packed there too, man. I mean, he packed that place out, did a good job, opening it up down there. I think there's a third one somewhere.
I thought they need to open a bar outside or something, serve something. See, everybody's just waiting. They're going to put a T-shirt booth or something outside.
They're missing out. They're missing out big time.
You got all them people just standing there, needing to do something.
Yeah,
you'll notice most places at the beach now, you standing around outside, they're selling you a T-shirt, or there's an outside bar. There's a way not to keep spending.
There's a way you have a captured audience. You need to figure out a way to get $5 out of them somehow or another, 10, 15, you know.
Right.
I mean, you're an idiot if you don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You live with it, folks. You know you buy it. People that we're talking to, you know you love that shirt. Go get it. You should get it. You deserve it.
I mean, I've bought so much stuff. When I bought these shirts, I don't remember how I got one, and then I bought some. I don't even know how this all went down. But when I did, I bought like 4 because I gave some to just people I knew that needed them. If I know somebody's a super fan of something and they're close to me, if I get something I know is awesome, I'm just going to go ahead and get 3 or 4. Get one for everybody I know is also a super fan because let me go ahead and help you out here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're just paying it forward, bro. Paying
I was
it
like,
forward.
Not everybody would be cool would appreciate it as much, but I know if someone does, I'm like, let me just go ahead and get them one.
Oh, yeah. It was like I picked up my drive-by trucker's hat. It was a black, kind of a circular patch with just DBT up here, and so I got that out at Red Rock when I saw him play, and that hat soon, I got some sweatbands on it, and I was like, man, I can't have this, and I really like the hat, so I ordered another hat.
You saw?
I got online and they actually had it.
You saw him at Red Rocks?
But yes, I did, man. Them and Marcus King. First time I'd ever heard Marcus King, and just absolutely blew my doors off. Like, that was, who is this cat? I'd never heard of him.
Right.
And then Tedeschi Trucks Band played third.
Yeah. Damn, what a lineup!
It was a hell of a
Unbelievable
lineup.
show, man. And my first time going there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your first time ever at Red Rocks, that was the lineup?
That was it, man. I mean, I did go through a moment of some fear. I mean, I had some great fear. Like, so I think it was when Drive-By Truckers was warming up, and the drummer got up there and was setting up the bass drums. Well, I was in a good space, but I was really, like taking this whole place in, and the way the rocks come up, the amphitheater naturally goes back. Well, he starts hitting that bass with like a double bass deal. And I thought somebody had opened fire at the top of the. Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, I went into a full panic run. I ran almost completely out of the place, fully convinced that somebody. Oh yeah, no, there was no excitement. That was pure fear. And I got by the side stage and I looked and saw him back there, and I was like, what an idiot, man. But God put it in me. He gave me good instincts. When things get weird, you get out.
I'm sure you.
Then I went back and enjoyed the show.
It's better to duck and not need it than not duck when you need it.
I've been
Absolutely
been to Red Rocks twice. I've seen the same band both times.
Panic?
No, I haven't seen Panic. Revolution. I love reggae and all of that. I'm into. I go everywhere, man.
Right.
But if I'm by the beach, it was living in Florida is really what got me more into that reggae kind of vibe. And then we have a mutual friend, Boog. I don't know if you know Boog or if you've heard of Boog, but Boog's a character. Boog is.
You have to beat Boog in his garage.
Yeah.
That's typically where you see Boog.
The Le
you go see him. Yeah.
That's funny.
He is an absolute character.
Oh man, yep. I mean, this dude. You talk about somebody who loves, appreciates all kinds of music. Knows. I mean, this dude. He never stops. Chad and I are in a group text with him. He gets cranked up. Unfortunately, I'm a little old now, I guess. I'm just not in the, I mean, he gets fired up around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and he's rolling till, 1, 2 a.m. No problem with that. My phone's on silent. You can send me stuff all night. I don't care. But I don't see it until 7 in the morning typically. And then when I'll look at my phone, I'm like, oh man, Boog had a hell of a set list last night.
No, he sent us like 25 song set list coming in. You wake up the next morning and start playing them, and it's out there.
I just save them.
It's always great.
Created a Boog playlist in my Spotify, and I just save them to it now. Just play random, and it's just some of the wildest, awesome music. It's perfect for like crawfish boils and parties because it can just be on in the background.
Yeah,
kind of low. You don't have to crank it too much. Every now and then, it's great, dude.
I got to check it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll have to send some over to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well,
summertime.
Send you the Boog playlist if you have.
I gotta have it.
Okay.
Yeah, summertime water, stuff like that. Yeah, that's I love all that stuff. I've been saying that lately. I would love to start. Somebody's gonna steal this idea before I can do it. Like 100 of my ideas that are already worth gajillions of dollars, that someone else stole from my mind somehow. But I thought about starting a island Caribbean beach band down here, like a big one though, with the steel drums, and have why hasn't someone become a Jimmy Buffett impersonator? You know what I mean? You got impersonators for everybody. Why don't you have like Jerry Buffett play in places, but do it well, like do the show to a T, like a Led Zeppelin experience thing, or one of the cover band, tribute bands or something, but do it really good.
Oh yeah,
dude. You think as many people down here love that, or all around, and Jimmy doesn't play that much anymore? You think that would be a hot commodity?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
it would be. I mean, and those steel drums, dude, they sound so good.
Because when you go to the Keys, you have all that, but then maybe some in South Florida. But once you get up here, you really don't have as much of that as you would think. Being on the water, you have mostly country and rock and that kind of stuff, or just rock, regular top pop music. But you really don't have as much. You don't have that beachy. Like I said, the steel drums, the sound that you can't replicate unless you have that stuff,
And it fits. I mean, you've got to have that by the water, especially on a coastal,
especially over in Orange Beach, that area, man.
That beautiful.
And like you said, reggae stuff too, like reggae incorporated stuff, all that whole vibe, that Caribbean vibe, that whole that island life,
Which I'm surprised that there hasn't been a band somewhere around, locally from here to Florida, to pass there, that would do that and
that was big enough that we would know about. That was like a Super T or a Velcro Pygmies or somebody that that if you're around the South, you've heard of, or like I
saw the Pygmies play about 2 months ago.
Yeah, or some of the like big tribute bands. Journey tribute band or whoever, and then I swear I think the Jerry Buffett thing, I wish I could pull it off. But sing those. Someone would love. I mean, people would eat that up.
Oh yeah, they would, absolutely. I mean,
1,000%.
Show up to play a marina gig. Show up on the boat. Get off the boat and play your gig. You know what I mean? Ham it up the whole way.
Oh yeah, just go.
Never break character. Tell everybody you're his long lost cousin. You just showed up. You were on an island your whole life. You just got here. I swear, somebody's gonna take this and run. I'll be the Colonel Tom if that works out for whoever gets that gig. I'll run that gig with you, because we'll have to work coastal, which works well for me.
You're gonna have to
sail on the coast.
Oh, yeah, just run up and down the Panhandle, man.
That's right.
Maybe get a little nod to the White House. Maybe we have to go do some kind of little special gig there or something every now and then.